Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the final workshop on subconscious reprogramming. I hope that this has been super helpful for you. I have thoroughly enjoyed doing these workshops, and I would love to be able to continue them. Um, just offering these free workshops in addition to the groups that I run for clients and, like just the other side stuff that I do. But I loved the capacity to just do these workshops, and I'm hoping to continue these in the future. If you have enjoyed them, I would love to hear your feedback and get insights on, what you thought was helpful and what was not, and what would you like more of, and et cetera, et cetera. So this is so hopefully the beginning of something beautiful and future projects. So thank you for joining me on this journey, right? Of being able to present this information to you because I so love it so much. But let's get into it. It's the last group of the month. I am going to hide my screen here. 1 second. I'm still trying to technologically become more proficient in this world of Zoom and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So let's focus on setting goals. So hopefully I have reinforce the idea that life is not about just setting goals and then like working at it and then like taking these action steps to get the goals done. Obviously, that is a huge component, but I wanted to make sure that you have an understanding of the role of your subconscious in helping you achieve the goals that you want and recognizing the landmines that are going to come once you go with setting these goals, right? So again, understanding that the subconscious likes the status quo. It does not like change. And so it will do whatever it can to keep you sabotaged and keep you in the status quo. And when you think about, oh, why have I not been able to achieve the goal, or I achieve the goal and I kind of revert back to old bad habits, recognizing that your subconscious is not comfortable with change and it's not comfortable with different will allow you to recognize when the sabotage is happening and how to reset yourself, right? So for me, now that we have talked about the subconscious, now it's about actually setting goals that will help your subconscious kind of like ride the wave with you and not sabotage you, right? So here are some of the ways that we are going to go about achieving our goals. One, we're going to name it and claim it. We're going to have daily focus. We're going to journal daily. We are going to visualize. We are going to get support, and we are going to make room for fun. So, how do we go about doing it? One, you got to name it and claim it. One of the things that I find with people is that they say they have these goals and they're just kind of vague about it, but they don't really believe the goal, right? I want to get a new job, or I want to be in a new relationship, or I want. And you can tell that they're like meh about it, right? Like they're sort of like, well, if it doesn't happen, like, okay, right? Like part of setting the goal is naming it and claiming it. And part of it is making a decision about what it is that you want, understanding that making a decision, picking one lane and sticking in that lane can be very scary, right? Because I think that, and I'm guilty of it too, we all have this feeling of like shiny new object, like, well, let me do this, well, maybe do that, maybe that, like, I want the goal, of the goal weight, but like, I'm gonna try this diet and I'm gonna try that diet and I'm gonna try this diet and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna go keto and I'm gonna low carb and I'm gonna go high fat and I'm gonna go high fiber. And we sort of have this the goal, but how we're going to choose to go about it, we just become very wishy-washy about it, right? Or the minute that we get hungry, we're like, I don't know that, like, why am I even on this journey of getting to my goal weight anyways, right? Part of the process for you is to name the goal and claim it, right? I have lost 50 pounds. I have found the love of my life. I get the $100,000 salary, whatever it is, right? Choose something. And ideally, you want to choose something that scares the bejesus out of you, right? Not just, oh, I want to, get the promotion. It's like, no, I want to retire at 55 from this job, or I'm going to become a millionaire in a year. Now, whether again you actually believe it doesn't matter. The idea is that you're going to start to get your subconscious in, you're going to get it primed to start looking for opportunities using your reticular activating system, like I talked about last week, to help you find opportunities to achieve the goal that you want, right? It has to be scary. And part of why I lean into the make choose a scary goal is that it tends to keep you more engaged, I think. If you live in the space of, I'm going to make $1 million in a year, right? Like now, all of a sudden, you maybe lock in and lean into this idea of like, how am I going to find $1 million? Like, how am I going to make this work? Like, okay, what do I have to do? What has to happen in order for me to make $1 million in a year? And you start to think in those ways, and you start to explore and you start to expand your perception and you start to change your perception and you start to sit with the discomfort of the scary goal. If you sort of just say, oh, I'm gonna, get a 10% raise, or I'm gonna, whatever, I'm gonna get the supervisory job, something that doesn't scare you, when it doesn't happen, you're kind of like, well, okay, it didn't happen, right? As opposed to, if you say, I want to be a millionaire, or I want to find the love of my life in 6 months, you then become laser focused, right? So choosing something that scares you creates greater, I don't want to say urgency, but creates a greater commitment, if you will, because now you're actually like, what would I actually have to do to make this happen? Okay, right? The other part of naming it and claiming it is believing that what you want is possible, understanding that often we live in a space of, you can't get that. That's not possible. How are you going to get that? You can't get that. You can't have all of it. You can't have all of it. You can't have it all. Like, you got to have pick one or the other. You got to pick one or the other. It's like, well, so if you live in the space of, I don't actually believe that I can get the thing that I want, you're going to set yourself up to fail. So you have to get into a space where you believe that what you want is possible, right? If you think that well, not think, but you have to believe it. You want to be a millionaire in a year, you have to believe that it is possible, right? You have to believe that what you want is actually possible. And that becomes part of claiming it, because again, you lock in on the idea of, well, how can I actually make this happen? Like, if I believe it's possible, what are the ways in which I can make this happen, right? And then you're going to commit to seeing it through. Then we lean into daily focus. So once you have decided on the goal, you then are going to choose the environment, to create an environment where what you want, you will see it daily, right? So if you say, I lose 50 pounds in a year, or I'm a millionaire, I need you to write that down everywhere. I need you to have vision boards. I need you to post-it notes. I need index cards. I need it on your phone. I need you tracking it. I need you writing it down. I need you want to create an environment where you see what you want daily. You want to lose the weight, have pictures of vegetables on your refrigerator, have water bottles everywhere. you know, have pictures of the body that you want everywhere. Put the treadmill in your bedroom. Like, create an environment where what you want is possible, and then it makes it easy to then actually accomplish the things. If you have water bottles everywhere, which again, I mean, I'm not saying that, but if you want water bottles everywhere, if you want to lose weight, then have water bottles everywhere. And so it makes it very difficult to ignore the focus, to ignore the goal, right? You want to be, constantly either listening to things, um, having, phone calls with people. You want to be, again, having it on your phone, whatever it is that you want, create an environment where what you want is always in your face. Right? Like, I'm a millionaire. I think I can do this. And like pictures of money, whatever it is. Because again, even if you don't necessarily know how, you're going to get there. The idea is that you prime your brain to find opportunities for what you want to come through, right? So it's just, again, having it in the ether. That's daily focus. The other daily focus is creating a system of tracking. So whether you have a calendar, whether you have, like a checklist, whether you have these journal entries, whether you have a to-do list, you want to be creating a system of tracking. And I will share with you, like my personal experience of trying to lose weight and trying to get back into healthy eating, right? And so I have this app called My Fitness Pal, and I'm working with a nutritionist, and we have goals, and I have daily goals, and I look at them daily. And when I look at them daily, I know I need to hit my protein goals. I need to hit my carb goals. But by checking in every day, I am reminded, okay, Ed, you might want to have the donut, but like, have you hit your goals yet? Write that in. Put that in. You ate the donut. Okay, put that in. Did that require your goal? Okay, now what did you do as it relates to your protein goals, right? Like, having the system of tracking keeps you accountable and keeps you in a place where you're focused on the goal, right? If you're logging into an app or if you're checking off something, you are saying to yourself, again, until it becomes habit, that this is what I'm focused on until I can do it in my sleep, right? So these things, when you're setting goals and you're working towards change, you have to embrace the idea that for a bit of time, you're going to have to be obsessed with this thing until it becomes second nature, right? Until it becomes something where you're just doing it automatically, then you just do it. Part of the idea, though, also of the daily focus and the tracking is that it helps to eliminate the I'm not motivated. I don't feel like doing it. I don't wanna, right? Because the reality is that you're gonna wake up some days and you're not gonna wanna, right? Like, your mood is just not there. I'm just not there. I'm PMSing. I just got into an argument. I just got yelled at my boss. I'm this and I just got this bill in the mail. Like, there's going to be these opportunities where you're not going to want to do the thing, but you also know, like, you just have to show up, right? And you need some level of accountability that says to yourself, for the time being, again, sabotage is going to happen, that you're just going to show up. And the only way that I can relate this to you to think about is, when you get up and shower, right? You don't think about, I don't want to shower. I don't, maybe some days you do, right? Some days you're like, I just don't feel like showering, right? And that happens. But for the most part, you don't really think about whether or not you want to shower. You just get up and shower, right? You just don't think about it. You're like, okay, like, you brush your teeth. I don't feel like brushing my teeth. Sometimes that happens. You've had a late night, you blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I don't feel like it, right? But for the most part, you just will shower, you will brush your teeth, you will just whatever, go grocery shopping. You will just get the things done. And so you need to think about, in the same way, when you're trying this new habit or you're establishing this new habit and you're establishing this new goal, you're going to have more days than not where you're not going to want to, right? But it's just saying to yourself, I am going to just show up. Every day that I look at my app or I look at my calendar or I look at whatever it is that I'm using to track, I need to see the thing got done, right? And for the sake of understanding that this is the rest of your life, there is no end date to this. There's no end date to showering. There's no end date to brushing your teeth. There's no end date to being at your goal weight. There's no end date to being a millionaire, right? Like once you're the millionaire, you're maintaining it, right? The same thing with like being a parent. Like once you have the baby, once you do all the things to like get pregnant and have the baby, well, now you're a parent. There's no end date to that. It's just you're a parent, right? You find the love of your life. You did all the apps. You did all the thing. You went every day. You got on a date. Blah, blah. Now you found the love of your life. Well, now you don't end the dating. I mean, you end dating, but now you're in a relationship, and now you're fostering the relationship. You just don't be like, oh, I don't feel like being married anymore. I mean, okay, that we all have that. I don't feel like being a parent today. Okay, we all have those days. I don't feel like really engaging with you, like just go watch TV. Be like, okay. But for the most part, when you're deciding on a goal, it's just saying that like you're gonna show up sometimes 100%, sometimes you're gonna show up 10%, but you're just gonna show up because you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. I like to always say. So for the time being, you're going to focus daily on this thing until it becomes automatic. Journal. Every day you're going to journal. Now, whether you do free association, I like Julia Cameron's idea of 3 pages, daily pages, and you just 3 pages, you just write and it's free association and you allow whatever it is to show up to show up. I don't know what to write. I don't know what to write. I don't know what to write. I don't like this. I don't want to do this. I don't, and you just let free association happen. And then at some point within, I don't know, I mean, maybe 2 pages, 2.5 pages, 1.5 pages, you start to have this sense of, okay, I got all this stuff out. And now I'm going to just do some free association and I'm going to just explore what might actually be going on. Or, hey, I may actually come up with the idea that's going to help me figure out how I'm going to do the thing, right? So by journaling, and I use the free association, you're just free associating, right? It's just like whatever comes to your mind, you're going to sit there for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever, and you're just going to free associate. You could have journaling at the end of the day where you do daily reflection of like what went well today? What was my daily gratitude? Like what went well today? What like let me sort of talk about my day, right? You could do goal setting journaling where you said, what was my goal? Okay, well, how did I get to close to my goal? Again, if I wanted to lose the weight, did I eat well? Did I exercise? How much exercise did I do? How did I feel about exercising? I wasn't in a good mood. I was PMSing. I was in an argument with my spouse and I showed up at like 10% instead of the 100%. Okay, I felt like crap, right? But it's like, but I'm going to get the goal of showing up. I'm going to try this workout tomorrow, or I'm going to do these things tomorrow. Part of the journaling of that. Part of the journaling could be planning your day. Again, what action steps do I want to take? Do I need to take to get closer to my goal? Whatever my goal is. It's like, today I didn't drink a lot of water. The goal for tomorrow is to really focus on drinking water. What do I need to do to help myself drink more water? Fill the water bottles, whatever it is that you're going to journal about that might also help get you going in terms of action steps. That could be your journaling as well. But every day you want to be journaling and documenting and getting the sort of the day or your thoughts about the day out of your head and onto paper, right? Onto some external sense or some external document. And I love journaling for the sake of, like being able to look back years later and be like, man, this is where I was in 2020 or 2022. Or again, not that you want anybody reading your journals later on, but it's like if somebody comes across your journals, where were you at in this point in time, this capsule of time in your life, especially when you're setting goals. I think it's always a great thing to see where you were in that moment, right? Because now hopefully you've progressed and you can see like, man, this is where I was a year ago. I was really in a bad place. And now a year later, look at wow, like look at where I am. And the scary, unfortunate part may be like you could read this a year from now and just say, I didn't get anything done, and that feels like crap. But again, if you're creating daily focus, you're creating opportunities for you to grow and to change and to achieve your goals. So, daily journaling, visualization. Again, I think we know these things, but I'm just repeating it because I always believe that we need to be reminded more than we need to be taught. And part of the subconscious reprogramming is you need to repeat, repeat, repeat. You need to hear something over and 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 over again in order for it to start to take root. Okay. So visualization is one of those things that I think most people will tell you you need to incorporate some visualization into your day to help you achieve your goals, right? And you want to use visualization, seeing yourself having achieved the goal. What do you look like? How are you walking? You know, you've lost the weight. You're at your goal weight. You know, what are you wearing? Where are you, how are you moving your body? See, are you playing with your kids? What are you doing? You've become the millionaire. You know, like what, you know, is it that you're jet setting? Is it that you get a bill in the mail and you feel good, like, oh, let's just pay that off? You give yourself you're going to go on a trip to Europe and you're going to go first class, creating the visualization and seeing yourself having achieved the thing, again, sets your subconscious up to sort of see the possibilities and to see what is possible. Like if it's in your imagination, it is possible. That's also this thing about the subconscious, that it doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imaginary. Think about, how often we believe in, I mean, maybe you believe in aliens or whatever the thing is, right? Like if you believe that there's aliens out there, there's no amount of quote unquote science or five senses that are going to tell you that aliens don't exist. If you believe it, like you just live in the space of believing that aliens exist, right? Like if you believe in God, you believe that God exists, Jesus, all the things, like there are these things that you believe, and you even if you say you don't have quote unquote physical evidence to prove it, you're in within you have this belief that it exists, and so the same should apply to your goals, right? I think that a lot of times we try to separate visualization or the things that we want from what we're seeing in our physical reality, in which case I'm like, well, do you believe in aliens? Do you believe in a higher power? Have you ever seen them? No, I mean, maybe you saw something on TV or you heard a story or, whatever the case is. But if sometimes you haven't physically seen something, but yet you believe it, right? And so why would you not apply the same idea of visualization to your goals and to the belief that something that you have in your imagination could actually be real? And so I want you to take the time to visualize what it is that you want and believe that what you want is possible. That's called positive expectancy, right? Don't live in the space of, I mean, we do, right? But don't live in the space of, oh, this will never happen. It's like, well, what would it look like if it did happen, right? The other thing that I always find with people, when they say like, oh, this visualization is silly, like this ridiculous. Well, I will say to the same person, like, but you've just thought about all the ways in which this thing won't work. This thing that you're afraid of. Well, what if they leave me? And what if I get laughed at? And what if I'm embarrassed? And what if, and what if, and what if? Like you can visualize disaster striking. You can visualize failure, but you can't visualize success. Like if you can visualize failure, aka you're going to trip and fall and people are going to make fun of you, then why would you not apply visualization to something great happening where you like actually achieve the thing, where you make the $1 million, where you get, I don't know, get married to Brad Pitt or whatever the case is, right? Just create the images in your mind and allow yourself to believe that it is possible. It is possible for you to get the thing. It might be a long shot. A lot of things may have to happen for you to get that, maybe, but believe that it is possible, right? And in the visualization, you use hope for the future, right? Where you are today may not be where you want to be. Understood. But in the same way that we get excited about a new year because we feel like it's turning a fresh page, we use hope of the future as fuel to see what you want and to keep going, right? Now, I will also say that fear can be used as fuel, not long-term fuel, but understood that like you might be so scared that you if that's what you need to use to propel yourself to the goal that you want, use that. But for the most part, I'm going to encourage you to use hope for the future as your fuel and to visualize the future that you want. Okay, next, get support. The journey towards change can feel lonely, right? Especially if you are wanting to do something that is out of the norm, that no one else around you is doing, that the people, who are around you will tell you, oh, that's not possible, where you're going to doubt yourself, you're in your own head, and your own subconscious is telling you that you can't do the thing. Having external supports will help you to achieve your goals. Why? Because it allows for accountability, right? I'm working with a nutritionist because I have to show her my journal entries, and she's looking at it and she's gonna see like, Eddie, did you do this, right? It also creates this expectation for me that, hey, I know she's gonna see this in a week, and do I really want to put this in my body? Like, because I'm gonna have to deal with like, you shouldn't be doing that. If that's what that takes, then sure, okay, then I'm gonna hire the nutritionist. People hire life coaches all the time for that reason because they need accountability. They need somebody that they're going to say, I don't want this person to be disappointed in me. I don't want to look bad in front of this person. I don't want somebody to believe that don't keep my promises. If that's what it takes, support is great. But it also is this aspect of I'm really struggling here and I don't know what to do. And can you help me? Right. And that person who's like, well, I tried this or I tried that, or maybe try this or try that, or you're feeling like I don't think I can do this, and someone is like, yeah, no, you can, right? The support allows you to say, how'd you do today on that presentation? How'd you do today on your diet? How'd you do on your run? Like, oh, I did really great on my run. I only, ran a couple of miles. I really fumbled in the presentation. But having the support of someone like just checking in with you, right, is helpful in helping you achieve your goals. The other thing with getting support is what we don't realize is that when we support others, we actually support ourselves. So what I often find is, and this is again interesting, like, call the coffee pot calling the kettle black, where we're very good at giving advice to others and we are terrible at taking our own advice. Terrible. You know what they need to do. They just need to leave that relationship. They just need to leave that job. They just, right? And then it's this aspect of, well, why don't you leave the shitty relationship, or why don't you leave the awful job? Well, well, it's different, right? And sometimes by supporting others to help them see, how they can do it, you sometimes give yourself the answer about how you can do it. If somebody were to say to me, Ed, how are you going to make 1 million? Like, I need help making $1 million. I might say to them, well, let's sit and do a brain dump. And we're going to, and then I might discover for myself, like, wait a minute, we did a brain dump. They said something about like they could do dog walking, or they could open up a bakery or sell baked goods or something. And then you might say, well, I like to bake, or I like dogs. Maybe that's an opportunity for me, right? And by helping someone else, you might, without realizing it, help give yourself the answer and help give yourself the support to say, if I supported that person and helped them get back up, I can get myself back up too, right? So supporting others lets you support yourself. The support reminds you that setbacks are expected, and they will cheer you on and just tell you to get back up, right? If you sort of say out there to your support that like, I just only did my 2 miles when I wanted to do five, right? And I sat on the couch today and I didn't, I didn't follow my diet, right? And the person will be like, well, yeah, like well, we knew setbacks were going to happen. Like you knew you were going to have a bad day or like, okay, like we knew this was going to happen. Like, what can you do tomorrow to get back up? Or like, you did great. Like, at least you did something, right? The, the having the external support allows you to be cheered on and to be told you can get back up, right? You can do this. And finally, the support keeps you out of your own head. Again, the problem with our subconscious is that you keep these things to yourself and you start saying, oh, and you're in your own head, right? And your own subconscious is gonna sabotage you and want you to get back to the status quo. Well, like you should just go back to the thing because this is just so much easier and the blah blah. And you listen to your voice and you're like, yeah, you're right. Like this is too hard and blah, 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 right? But by saying out loud to someone, and this is where I think for me as a therapist, it's great. I'm always like, I need you to hear yourself say that thing out loud. Because once you hear yourself say that thing out loud, you either realize it's ridiculous or you realize that, like, it's not as powerful as you thought it was, right? If you said, oh, God, I can't believe you ate that donut. You're like the worst person ever. And then you say to someone, I ate the donut and I'm the worst person ever. And the other person says, well, all right, like you ate the donut. So what? Now it's like, wait, what? Yeah, you ate the donut. Like you knew it was going to happen. Like, well, okay, it's not the end of the world. Oh, it's not? Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's not the end of the world. Oh, yeah, okay, right? Like there's just something about sometimes saying something out loud and having someone not have the same visceral like reaction to stuff that you have in your own mind that helps you get back on track that much faster. So big proponent of getting support. Again, I am a therapist, and so my life is about support. Doing support groups is like helping. The more that people can support you, the more you're going to achieve your goal because you're going to have all these other components. Finally, having fun, right? Part of change is that it's scary, right? Part of change is that you're overwhelmed, you don't know what you're doing, you're fumbling around, you're like unsure of yourself. And part of what helps you get out of the fear or the discomfort is incorporating fun, right? It's about saying to yourself, like, okay, like, this thing that I want is super scary, but like in 20 minutes, or I'm going to give myself this, I'm going to work on this thing for, 20 minutes or work on it for an hour. But after that hour is done, I'm gonna, let myself have a dance party, or I'm gonna let myself do a puzzle, or I'm gonna let myself go to the bookstore and just walk around and just read some books, right? By pairing some of your action steps or some of the scary steps with some fun stuff, you make it less overwhelming for yourself to do the thing that you want to do. Again, until it becomes habit, until it becomes ingrained as part of your, functioning, incorporate the fun. And I think a lot of times, I think for me too, it's recognizing that we don't make enough room in our lives for fun. And so when you think about making a change, it's like this overwhelming, like, oh, this is going to be so uncomfortable. And it is. And it's going to be, and it's so exhausting. And I'm going to have to battle these people and my family and all this stuff. And it's just like, yeah, like making change and having these goals can be overwhelming, but what are you going to do to have some fun so that it makes it less painful or less uncomfortable or less scary? And you have to incorporate fun. Incorporate lots of rest, take lots of breaks. Because again, in the process of change, you're going to be mentally challenged because you're trying to be conscious about these behavior changes. And so you're going to be exhausted. You're going to exert a lot of brain cells towards doing the new thing. And you're going to be tired. And so you need to give yourself opportunity to rest and take breaks. If you have the luxury of taking a half day off once a week, or shifting around your schedule so that can have afternoons off, or you do meetings on certain days because by, I don't know, like by Thursday or Friday you're spent, whatever it is. Create opportunities for you to take breaks again until it becomes the norm. I will say to you, again, don't expect a 0 to 100 change. Focus on small incremental changes and then build up from there, right? And so if I don't know if any of you have ever done like a couch to 5K app, where the expectation is you're going to run well, the app is like 15 minutes. It's a 15-minute workout or run, and you're the first week you're doing 8 minutes, no, like probably more like 12 minutes of walking and 3 minutes of running, right? And it's out of a 15-minute quote unquote run, 12 of those minutes was walking. And over time you progress, that it then says, okay, this week, we're going to do 10 minutes of walking and 5 minutes of running, and progressively until you're getting stronger. You're going to be able to then do a 15-minute from the beginning, a 15-minute run after a 30-second warm up or a 30-second walk or whatever the thing is. And so recognizing that you're going to do this in small incremental steps, and it's going to be fun, and it's going to be in a way that allows you to take breaks where you need it so that you can keep going. That's the point. Make sure that you have those opportunities for breaks. And again, opportunities for adventure, right? Opportunities for fun. You have something to look forward to at the end of the week, or at the end of the day, or at the end of the morning, whatever it is, create opportunities for fun and create opportunities for adventure. So finally, this is sort of the daily things that you want to be incorporating into your life just as habit and again, this could be part of the goal, but I think inherently as human beings, we should all be doing these things, whether you have goals or not. I mean, we all should have goals always, I think, but this should be part of your daily repertoire, right? And it's called taking your meds. So part of taking your meds, M, is working on your mental health, having daily gratitude, affirming yourself that you are a kick-ass human being, that you can do things, that you're capable, you are worthy. Daily effort in taking care of your mental health, that should just be a given. Whether you're setting goals or not, these should be foundational to your success. And when you have these foundational components, you increase the likelihood of the goal that you set, you will increase the likelihood of success, right? So exercise, moving your body. I don't care how you move your body, but moving your body helps to release the fear that comes with like doing the scary thing. Plus, it just helps, manage your stress, again, manage your overall well-being, over your cardiovascular health, like loving your body, all of those things, increasing your room for exercise, it should just be foundational, right? Your diet, whether it's your physical, emotional, social, spiritual diet, you have to have a healthy diet. So healthy foods, healthy consumption of social media, get off the news, right? Give yourself limits to how much social media you're going to consume. What relationship do you have with a higher power, a God, with whatever, with connections, relationship diet, how are your relationships, right? And you want to have a quote unquote healthy diet where you consume things that nourish you. And finally, sleep. Find moments of rest, get good sleep. Pretty self-explanatory. These should be foundational, right? And if to me, it's one of those things where I say, before you even start the goal, whatever it is, I want to make the $1 million, make sure these things, your meds, are well taken care of so that even when you're having the uncertainty of am I going to achieve this goal? Am I going to be able to do the thing? These components, having these components in place will increase your likelihood for success because you're starting off from a strong foundation. Okay. So I think that's it. Now what? Once you have decided on a goal, and I will provide resources about how do you, how to help you pick the goal that you want, right? Like sort of identifying which area of your life you like to focus on. Once you decide on a goal, don't go at it alone, right? Join others, find supports, join support groups, Google, whatever it is, your millionaires club, like find masterminds, allow yourself to find supports to help you achieve the goals that you want to achieve, right? So obviously I have my own private support groups that I incorporate for people, and if you're interested, obviously reach out to me. You can join my private group where I work with people in like small group settings to help them, support each other and I can help support them to achieve their goals, but also again to have accountability, to have someone that's checking in on you, to know that for this 6 weeks or this 8 weeks or the 12 weeks, that there's someone I'm accountable to someone, right? And I find that having the support, at least in the beginning, heavily will increase your chances for success, hence why I offer private groups. But if you're interested, do not hesitate to reach out to me. And if you're interested, here is my contact information. So I am at plantingseedsmj@gmail.com. Text me 609-817-4747. I will say to you that I am not a big texter. I will answer my text messages just so you know, but I may not get back to you right away. I try to always get back to people within 24 hours, but the introvert in me who gets peopled out, and who does not like, being on my phone. I just don't like being on my phone. Um, will will not necessarily get back to you right away, but if you do text me, I will text you back. Go to my website, plantingseedcounselingnj.com, and find me on social media. You find all those things here. And I just hope that this was helpful, right? Like it has been my privilege and my pleasure to just offer you something that I hope, just inspires you, right? It is one of my things. Like I have my own personal goals, and I'm working every day on my personal goals, and I have my own support groups that help me work on my goals, but I want to offer this thing to you as well. And so I hope that you have enjoyed this. Again, shoot me an email, shoot me a text message. If you're interested in my private group, if you're interested in like my free groups, just reach out and like let's connect, right? I want to help you achieve your goal for 2025. Now, I did this workshop in October because I want you to have a lot of runway. I want you to have, like don't start on January 1st and just like, hit the ground running. Take the baby steps now. Take the ups and downs, the roller coaster ride of your subconscious trying to self-sabotage you, and just, like the failure way to the top where you just go up and down and then finally like reach your goal. If you can get runway in October and November and December to get yourself in a good place foundationally, to get some good habits in place, you increase your chances of success in the new year. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you again for letting me, take up your time and, you know, reach out, and I hope you, enjoyed this, and I will see you in my next workshop. Take care, guys. Bye.